Hello everybody, and welcome to the Daily Splatt. Now, fans of the original run, I suppose, of this series will remember when it came to the end of a year, I do a couple of reviews, like good films of the year, things like that. I'm not going to do all of that, but I am going to do one of them, which is one I always enjoy doing. It's Game of the Year, or the Games of 2013. Normally I'd go through and I'd pick out 5 that were new that year that I'd played and very much enjoyed and things like that. But this year I just kind of want to talk about what was my favourite video game from the last 12 months. A couple of honourable mentions. First of all, FIFA 14, new FIFA, continues to be good. Still very much enjoyable. Another honourable mention, and the game that probably comes second on this list, if I was doing it as a top 5, is Grand Theft Auto 5. Really good game. Really enjoyed it. Fantastic. Very good story campaign. Really well realised characters. Excellent open world. And one that I'm still popping back to every now and then. Having a little play, messing around with. There's a lot to do in that game. And I think it'll keep us all very happy and engaged for a few years to come yet. I haven't really delved too much into the online aspect of GTA 5. But from what I've heard from friends, it's very enjoyable. Anyway, now the reason that I'm bringing up the game of 2013 is because I would really like to basically just say how much I enjoyed The Last of Us. It's perhaps not surprising if you've been following video games in particular for the last 12 months that The Last of Us is probably my game of the year. It's excellent. It's really good. It basically, for the basic premise, for those of you who don't know, it's set, I suppose it's post-apocalyptic, but it's kind of during the apocalypse, I guess. Basically, there's a horrible sort of fungal plant virus which turns people into mindless plant zombie type creatures, and it's very bad, and the whole world's kind of gone to hell in a handbasket. You're playing the game 20 years after the initial infection. You're playing as Joel, who is a man in his sort of 40s, late 40s, who has to guide a young woman by the name of Ellie from basically across the USA. The thing they have to get to was either Utah or Colorado they have to get to, and they're starting on the east coast. So it's a trek across the states, trying to avoid horrible plant zombies and other dangers. Really well told premise, for sort of a simple-ish premise, I guess, but a very interesting twist on the whole undead zombie drama thing that's been going on lately. Lots of things like The Walking Dead and Left 4 Dead and all these other dead things. The Last of Us is very interesting. It almost feels to me somewhat, it feels very influenced by, I suppose, it'd be like if one of the Coen brothers was involved in making a game. It's not intrinsically exactly like a Coen brothers thing, but I think it's mainly the soundtrack that made me think it's very simplistic, it's very removed, it's very much a story about these two people, Joel and Ellie, as they're travelling across the country. It's very much a story about them. It just so happens that they get attacked by plant zombies while they're making their dangerous trek. And the mechanics are solid, it's a good fighting thing, you're constantly sort of on your toes, you never quite have enough supplies, so you have to be you have to think about what you use, and you have to be, not waste bullets in particular. The difficulty curve is perfect, I think it curves at just the right pace, and various enemies keep it very entertained, very well performed, absolutely fantastic game of the year. Probably in my top 5 of all time. I think it would definitely be jumping in there, along the likes of Fallout 3 and Final Fantasy X. I'm not entirely sure what is in my top 5, but I think The Last of Us would almost certainly be making an appearance. It is superb, absolutely cracking, and if you have a PlayStation 3, definitely get it. If you don't have one, they're going pretty cheap now, we've got the newer consoles, or borrow one from a friend or whatever. Just make sure that you play this. It's very good, and I've tried to keep it as spoiler free as possible, so there you go. I've not gone into too much detail about stuff. Absolutely brilliant game. play it if you want, or don't. Anyway, that's all from me today. I'll be back tomorrow talking about something else. What? I don't know. But until then, stay safe and see you soon. Bye.